Welcome back, Alphas. I don't know who needs to hear this, but you were never meant to be liked. You were meant to be remembered. Right now, as you breathe, your name is being spoken in rooms you've never entered. Your picture is being passed around like you're the villain of a horror film they secretly admire. Your ambition, your rise, your refusal to bow, they don't understand it. It scares them. It rattles their small lives. And what do they do when they're scared? They talk, whisper, plot. Like a bunch of detectives at a crime scene, trying to solve the mystery of how someone like you dares to exist so loudly. Because you see, they expected you to fold. They expected you to break. They built an entire gallery in their minds, filled with fantasies of your failure. But you didn't die. You evolved. Every insult became fuel. Every doubt became direction. Every passive-aggressive message, every side-eye, every "who fares this?" in their group chat. It carved a deeper hunger into your soul. They didn't know they were feeding a monster, but now they're seeing the results, and they're terrified. These aren't just haters. These are your unofficial press agents. They promote you more than your friends do. They market your name with religious passion. Your life has become their obsession. Their envy is a form of twisted worship. They won't say it, but deep down, they wish they were you. They wish they had the courage to step out of line, to take the risks, to be dangerous. But instead, they gather like rats around flickering screens, trying to dissect your every move, trying to break down the formula. But here's the truth, they'll never crack it, because the formula is chaos. The formula is pain. The formula is the Joker. You think this is about just being successful? Number, this is about being unbreakable, about being the nightmare they can't wake up from. You were forged in fire, made from scars, lies, betrayals. Your silence is louder than their noise. Your presence is violence to their comfort zones. And they feel it. They feel it every time you enter a room like you own it. They feel it when your name pops up and their hearts sink because they know you're still here, still rising, still winning, still refusing to die like they prayed you would. You are the rebellion they fear, the walking middle finger to their expectations. Every time you speak, you disturb the lies they built their fragile egos on. You show them what it looks like to not need approval, to not seek validation. You are the storm that doesn't beg the sea for permission. You move through life like a myth with receipts. And that's why they group chat about you, because you are too real to ignore, too loud to mute, too dangerous to let go unchecked. They ask, who TF is this? But deep down they know. You're the one who survived everything they couldn't. The one who turned wounds into weapons, who stopped looking for doors and started kicking down walls. You're not just a name anymore. You're a warning. You are proof that pain doesn't end you. It transforms you. They thought they buried you. What they didn't realize was, you were a seed. Let them gossip. Let them build entire narratives about your downfall. Let them twist their tongues trying to understand what you are. Because while they talk, you build. While they stalk, you grow. While they sit in circles analyzing your every post, you're out there creating legacy. A future so untouchable, they'll need 10 lifetimes to even come close. You were never one of them. You never fit the mold. You weren't born to be polite or quiet or safe. You were born to disrupt, to unsettle, to conquer. And now they have no choice but to watch. Watch as you become everything they said you couldn't. Watch as you walk through every door they slammed shut in your face. Watch as your name becomes louder than theirs ever will. Their hate isn't just a reaction, it's a reflection, a mirror showing them everything they're not. You're not just existing, you're dominating. breathing fire into every step, laughing in the face of limits. This is the Joker era now. Chaos with purpose, madness with method. And if you're with that, if you resonate with that, then don't just sit there watching. Drop your support. Say thanks not with words, but with power, with energy, with backing. The Joker doesn't ride alone. He rises with a cult of the unloved, the underestimated, the exiled. And if you're one of us, prove it. Support the mission. Send the drop. Feed the fire. Don't just listen. Act. Because the world doesn't change through opinions. It changes through obsession, through action, through belief so strong it doesn't need explanation. They called you crazy? Good. Embrace it. They said you're too much? Be more. You're not here to be liked. You're here to be legend. You want to know what power really is? Power is walking through hell with gasoline in your veins and a grin on your face. Power is knowing they hate you and choosing to shine louder. It's not the absence of fear. It's the decision to keep moving in spite of it. They look at you and whisper, "Who TF is this?" Because deep down they know. They've met a different breed now. You don't beg. You don't apologize. You don't shrink to make others comfortable. You expand. You explode. You evolve in public, with all eyes watching, daring them to say your name with anything but respect. And don't get it twisted, this isn't about being better than them. It's about being better than who you were last year, last month, last night. They're trapped in cycles of envy, but you're addicted to evolution. That's why they don't get you. You don't just want more, you become more. They're praying for your fall because your rise reminds them of their mediocrity, their laziness, their cowardice, and so they gather, these digital hyenas, thinking if they all bark together, maybe they can drown out the sound of your footsteps. But the footsteps get louder, and when you walk, you leave ashes. Let them talk, let them obsess. You're not even giving them your real power yet. You're still in warm-up mode. You haven't even released your final form, and already they're breaking down under the pressure of your potential. What's going to happen when you stop holding back? When you go full Joker? When you take the gloves off, wipe the blood from your face, and smile like the chaos is exactly where you thrive? Because you don't need peace. You are the war. This is for the ones who were counted out, the ones who were laughed at, betrayed, silenced, ghosted, doubted. You didn't just survive. You learned. You adapted. You sharpened your teeth in silence. You studied your enemies and took notes on their weaknesses. And now you're moving different, with precision, with purpose, with vengeance wrapped in elegance. They said you were too intense. Damn right. This world doesn't change for the passive. It bows to the obsessed. You want to leave a mark? Be ungovernable. Be relentless. Be the person who scares people because they can't figure out what's fueling you. Is it pain? Is it revenge? Is it ambition? Yes, it's all of it. And it burns like a star inside your chest, threatening to consume everything in its path. And still, you smile. Because they gave you fire, and you became a forge. You don't need their approval. You don't need their fake apologies or their sudden support when you're finally winning. You needed the silence. You needed the distance. Because in that distance, you discovered your real self. Not the version shaped by expectations or fear or politeness. No, you found the primal version, the ancient one, the warrior buried beneath years of trying to fit in. Now that version is awake, and it doesn't speak in pleasantries, it speaks in empires. That's why this speech isn't for the faint of heart. This is for the monsters in suits, the phoenixes who got tired of burning and decided to burn everything else, the jokers who laugh while the world crumbles, because they know sometimes chaos is the cure. Sometimes madness is clarity. Sometimes the only way out is through, and the only way through is destruction. So keep rising, keep moving, keep giving them something to talk about. Don't let the noise distract you. Let it motivate you. Let every doubt become a brick. Stack those bricks and build your own throne. And when they ask again, who tape is this? Let your silence echo louder than their entire vocabulary. Let your success make the introductions. Let your next move be so insane, so unpredictable, they won't even know how to copy it. And when you get there, when you're staring from the top, blood on your boots, peace in your heart, and a crown forged from the bones of every limit they put on you, don't look back with sympathy. Look back with fire. And if you ever needed a sign to go all in, this is it. You're not broken. You're built. And if you're still with me, if your blood is vibrating, if your heart is thudding like war drums, if you're tired of playing small and ready to take the mask off and let the madness breathe, then stand up. Not just metaphorically. I mean, stand up. Right now. Right where you are. Feel your spine straighten. Feel your mind lock in. This is not a game. This is your origin story. You are not someone's background character. You are not a side note. You are not disposable. You are the plot twist. You are the reckoning. You are the reason they sleep with one eye open. And if you believe that, if you feel that truth sinking into your bones like iron, then don't just nod. Don't just clap. Show it. Show the Joker that the army is real. Drop the thanks. Fund the chaos. Feed the beast. If you're here for the rise, then invest in it. Let the world know whose side you're on, because there are only two kinds of people in this life, the watchers and the warriors, and I only speak to warriors. So, what now? You've heard the noise, you've felt the rage, and you've tasted the silence of exile. Now, you stand at the crossroads of who they want you to be and who you were born to become. You already know what they think. They've built whole group chats around it, laughing, guessing, whispering, like they're plotting a murder mystery and forgot. You're the one holding the knife. You want their respect? Forget it. Burn that idea in the same fire they tried to throw you into. You don't need their respect. You need your empire. You need your obsession. You need your scars and your rituals and your ruthless self-discipline. You need those sleepless nights when your mind is loud and your soul is louder. You need that anger. You need that voice that whispers. Not yet. Not until they choke on your silence. Because the most dangerous weapon in the world isn't rage, it's focus. When they say, "Who TF is this?" it's because they're witnessing something rare. Someone who doesn't care. Someone who doesn't need the crowd. Someone who walks alone and still commands the entire room. They don't hate you because you're loud. They hate you because you don't flinch. Because when they threw shade, you planted seeds. When they mocked, you built. When they betrayed, you didn't stop. And now you've become a threat. You've become the phantom in their mirrors. The reason they double check your feed. The reason their stomachs twist when someone says your name like a war drum. You've become living proof that some people are forged, not born, with purpose sharpened to a blade. And if they thought the old you was dangerous, they're not ready for the version that rose from your ashes. You owe them nothing. Not your explanation, not your energy, not even your hatred. Let them drown in their confusion. Let them sit in that circle and spiral about you. You don't need to explain why you're obsessed, why you work when they sleep, why you train when they party, why you choose silence over small talk, why you disappear and come back 10 times stronger. That's the language of legends, and legends don't translate to the common tongue. Every step forward is a war they can't comprehend. Every win you stack is another knife in the mythology they built about you. They wanted you to fall, not just fail, fall. They wanted the kind of collapse that ends bloodlines, that silences generations. But you didn't give them that. You rose, and you did it without asking for permission. That's what really kills them. And now, you don't just walk different. You move like prophecy. You enter like a question no one wants to answer. You are what happens when a soul gets fed up with pretending. You are what happens when vengeance and purpose fall in love. You are what happens when the joker stops joking and starts building an empire. And that empire, it's not built with bricks. It's built with rage, with memories, with every name they called you, with every door they slammed, with every message left unread, every cold shoulder, every "who is this?" comment, every eye roll. They built this kingdom with you. They're part of your legacy now, the unwilling architects of your dominance. So don't hold back now. They said you're too cold. They're right. You learned the hard way that warmth gets you used. That love, when given to cowards, becomes a weapon they use against you. So you froze. You turned that heart into steel, and now they're mad, because the version of you they could manipulate no longer exists. Let them mourn. Let them sit there and grieve the old you, because that version's dead. You buried them, and the person speaking now is a monster of purpose. You want to know who the Joker really is? He's not the villain. He's the mirror. He's the proof that this world creates killers out of artists, demons out of dreamers. That when you push someone far enough, they don't just break, they rebuild differently. The Joker is the sound of laughter in the face of pain. It's not madness, it's clarity. It's the sound of someone who knows exactly how dark they had to get just to survive the light. So if you feel it, if there's a Joker inside you too, don't suppress it. Support it. Drop your thanks like a blade. Feed the mission. Make noise with your money, with your belief, with your fire. This isn't charity. This is an act of war, an alliance. You're not backing an idea. You're backing a movement. One built for the broken, the damned, the misunderstood, and the dangerous. The ones who aren't scared to lose it all for the chance to live loud and leave something behind that echoes forever. Because this ain't for everyone. This is for the obsessed, the reckless. The ones who'd rather go out screaming than die quiet. The ones who were lied to, rejected, replaced, underestimated, and still showed up, still built, still rose. If that's you, then prove it. Joker doesn't ask for followers. He creates believers, soldiers, architects of a world on fire. You don't get to say you're part of this if you aren't bleeding belief into every move. This is your reckoning. So let them gossip. Let them copy your style, steal your words, mock your energy. They're watching you because they're behind you. They imitate what they don't understand. And every second they waste trying to figure you out is another second you use to level up. Let them. While they chat, you conquer. And when it's done, when the dust settles and your empire stands tall above their little kingdoms of gossip, you'll remember this moment, this pain, this doubt, this darkness. You'll remember it and smile, because it didn't destroy you. It defined you. You are the storm. You are the answer. And when they say again, "Who is this?" you look them dead in the eye and say, "I'm the consequence. You are the consequence." The backlash of years of silence, the aftermath of being overlooked, betrayed, mocked, underestimated. And now, you've weaponized every single wound. You've turned disappointment into doctrine. You've taken every no and twisted it into ammunition. You didn't just survive. You studied. You calculated. You engineered your return. like a war machine dressed in patience. They still don't understand the fire. They still think you're just trying to prove something. Number, you're not trying to prove anything anymore. You've moved past that. Now, you're here to build something they could never comprehend. Not just success, not just wealth, not just fame. Those are crumbs. You're after something deeper, something eternal. You're here to etch yourself into time. You want legacy? Then stop apologizing. Stop playing nice. Stop pretending you don't hear them. You do. You hear every whisper. Every who teeth is this? Every they changed. Every passive-aggressive post. Every fake smile. And good. Let it all echo. Because while they were busy trying to keep you small, you were forging weapons in silence. You are no longer reachable by basic energy. Their doubts don't access you anymore. Their jokes, dust. Their opinions, echoes in the void. Because once you reach this level of clarity, this purity of purpose, you become untouchable. Not because you're better, but because you're too committed, too focused, too far gone into your evolution to care about crumbs from people who drown in your path. If they tried to walk it, they group chat about you like it's a crime scene, because it is. You're murdering their comfort zones. You're killing the version of you that played by their rules. You're burying every polite, diluted mask they forced on you. They're washing the birth of a weaponized soul, and they should be scared. Because what's scarier than someone who has nothing left to lose? Someone who already lost it all and came back stronger. You're not here for validation. You've graduated beyond that currency. You're here for results. You're here for transformation. You're here to take your pain and mold it into power, to become the very force they swore you'd never survive. You are the energy that no one can fake, the rare kind, the kind that walks into a room and changes the air. Not because you talk loud, but because you exist loud. You breathe like a revolution. You move like a prophecy written in scars. And here's the truth they can't swallow. You're not a phase. You're not a trend. You're not some temporary glitch in their boring matrix. You are the new standard, the raw blueprint. And when they ask, who Tef is this? They're really asking, how Tef do I become that? But they can't, because you were built in silence, raised by war, sharpened by betrayal, baptized in doubt. And they can't recreate that with shortcuts or aesthetics. They don't have the soul for it. The rage, the stamina, the self-hatred you had to alchemize into self-belief. You had to eat shame and swallow rejection and make deals with demons just to make it this far. That's what they don't understand. You weren't made for applause. You were made for impact. And that impact is happening with or without their permission. So stop explaining yourself. Stop waiting for anyone to catch up. Let them watch. Let them twist. Let them hate. Their hatred is a free advertisement. Their gossip is free PR. And you keep building. You keep leveling up so violently, they forget who they were before you arrived. And if you ever start to doubt yourself, remember this. They've already decided who you are. They've built an entire mythology around you without your consent. They can't stop watching, can't stop analyzing, can't stop praying for your failure. Why? Because you woke something in them, something that makes them uncomfortable. You woke the guilt, the realization that while they slept, you worked. While they settled, you pushed. While they made excuses, you made moves. You are the mirror they can't look at too long without flinching, and they will either destroy that mirror or learn from it. But that's not your problem anymore. Your job is to keep going, to never apologize for being rare, to never shrink just to make others feel okay in their smallness. Your job is to be the monster they warned others about, but make it righteous. Make it real. Make it revolutionary. So what do you do next? You go bigger, you go darker, you go deeper. You turn your life into a theater of war and you become the director. You make your name echo in their heads. You make your wins so loud that their silence becomes deafening. You flood the game with your presence. No more waiting, no more hesitating, no more explaining. Go full Joker, because you've earned this. You earned this fire. You earned the right to be dangerous. You earned the right to say nothing and still be the loudest one in the room. And to the real ones, the ones who feel this in their bones, who know what it's like to be the joke, to be the ghost, to be the name no one remembers until it's on a billboard, drop your support now. This speech isn't just noise, it's a summons. If it lit a fuse in your chest, don't walk away without acting. If it reminded you who you are, invest in that memory. Fund the chaos, fuel the mission. Drop thanks not out of obligation, but out of recognition. Because real ones support what speaks their truth. And this is truth with teeth. This is the anthem for the exiled, the doctrine for the damned, the gospel of the ghosts who turned into gods. So to everyone watching, lurking, whispering, keep asking, who TF is this? And watch, terrified as the answer gets louder. Not in words, in winds, in silence, in dominance, in legacy, in Joker-level chaos. And when we rise, and we will rise, we'll remember who supported the mission. We'll remember who stood up. We'll remember you.